Oh, good morning. It's January the 2nd, 2026. Whoa, wow. Well, Kevin and I were bored silly because we have nothing to work on. Both of our shops are in a state of nothing to work on. So we put the little white bike up here and decided we would. There was the ever so slight hesitation in mid range. So first of all, we sprobe checked the ignition, dead nuts on. Actually, before that, we even put in a fresh set of plugs and tested them with my sparkler generator, and they're beautiful. A lot of good ignition, no problem. Then we put it up in the air and we checked out the static timing on the ignition, and it looked just great. Then we fired it up and revved it up to about 4,000 as by my ear tack, and I mean the timing is dead nuts on. It's beautiful. So that's not the problem. That put us back to carburetor. Now, the owner had the needle set to the bottom bottom of the needle, the clip on the bottom, and I moved it to the middle. So we took it apart and we put it in the bottom just how the client liked it. And I'd say that there was a tiny, 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 tiny little bit of improvement. So adjusted the pilot air adjuster just a little bit, and I think that's as good as we can get without getting into um, changing pilot jets. And I don't want to do that because we're running open pipes here. These are wide open pipes, which means you have to spend a lot of time tuning to get everything perfect. And don't have that kind of time. Now, in the meantime, while we were testing, revving the bike up, revving, it blew out this much oil out of the sump drain right here. Now I did this. I know that. That's my work. It's coming right out of the engine, right out the tail end of the bike. That's not good. This really needs to go into the oil bottle and then drain, then vent the oil bottle. The probably, boy oh boy, the problem is this is a custom bottle. It has a gazinta for return oil, or even a vent, but not for pressurized vent. In other words, the sump, air pressure, and oil should come up here and go into here and into the tank. And then there should be another vent here, another connector here, that could then vent the pressure without the oil out the back end of the bike. There is no way I'm going to drill into this tank and try to fit another fitting. Could be done, ain't going to happen, not without a specific direction. So what I'm going to do is emulate the early 650s that had a Y pipe that used to come up from the sump and had a Y that went up, and it was a mess. Except I don't have a Y pipe. But what I do have is a T-fitting. So what I'm going to do is, and see, this is non-destructive. This can be returned. I'm going to put this right here in this tube. I'm going to run the sump tube down here up along here and go into this side of the T, so that the natural flow of oil will be downhill into the tank. And then I'm going to take the vent out the back end of the bike, out this top fitting, and probably come down this frame member instead of across this frame member. Haven't decided that yet. But the bottom line is I want the natural flow of oil to go back to the tank while still venting the sump pressure. It's going to be difficult. We're going to try this, and then I'll run the bike for a while and see what I get out of the vent. And hopefully it'll be less than that. Otherwise, it's going to require some very careful surgery to drill and tap and put another vent in here for the sump vent vapor / pressure. I don't want to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fit this T and fire the bike up and see if I get lesser oil out of the sump vent and more oil into the tank itself. I hope that's clear, probably clear as mud, but that's what I'm going to do and see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to start now. let you know how it goes. All right, so here's the final installation. I brought the Sump vapor, which is air plus oil vapor. Up here, I made the tube black by putting it inside shrink tubing. And I brought it over here into this T. Now I'm hoping that the solid fluid oil that's in the combination will just keep going straight down here and around here and into here, into this vent, into the tank. I'm hoping the oil will keep going downhill. Okay, downhill's on purpose. Underneath here and around here and up into here. Okay, and into this vent. Then I'm hoping while the liquid oil in the vapor keeps going, that the air will come out this way. If anybody's familiar with the pre-1970 Triumphs, this is basically a simulation of what they did. Now, I've always discussed that as being a really bad design. That did not get any better with age. So it's all I'm doing here is replicating a really bad design. But that's just the way it is. So I ran it down the back of this frame member. Once again, covered the whole thing with black shrink tube so it looks as good as possible. So I'm going to start the bike now and see how much oil we blow out of this vent now compared to what we did before. And I don't know if it's going to be any better or not. Truthfully, once again, the only real solution to the sump blowing oil all over the place is to put a second vent right here, drill it, tap it, put a elbow in it, or vertical, I don't care, so that the sump can go into here and the air can come out of there, leaving the oil behind. But I'm not going to modify a custom oil tank. And if it wants, if the client has all the equipment, I mean, he built this whole bike. So we're going to start the bike now and see what happens after I run it for a while, whether or not it blows oil out the back like it was doing before. So stand by. Okay, I'm going to start the bike. I've got the microphone on, so you're not going to get the full motorcycle sound, but you'll be able to hear my voice better, I think. So I have to choose between motorcycle sound and voice. So this time I'll do voice. Good tickle. Let's get that. Good tickle. Ignition on. Good throttle. No choke. I can't say I like that smoke. Don't know why. Wow. I'm not getting any oil out of that the air portion of the vent, which is great. That means the oil's going back into the tank. I'm happy as a clam with that. And it's not too overly ugly. So I'm going to leave it like that. Now, in case you're wondering, no, I'm not charging for this. It's out of scope. It was my decision to do it. And basically because I'm here and I'm bored. Kevin was down here before, helped me check the bike out. And after he left, I just decided to remod the mod that I did the previous time the bike was in the shop. This is much better. Now, it's not the ultimate fix. Once again, the ultimate fix is to put another vent on the top of the tank and vent that out to the back end of the bike while venting the sump directly into the tank. But the little T-split that I put there, so far so good. I could feel the air coming out, but no oil. So it is an improvement. The client will ride the bike for a while, and if he sees any oil coming out of there, I will ask him to tell me right away. As far as running, it's a the best description on this bike is not crude, but sharp edged, short open pipes, quarter turn throttle. You gotta be a man to ride this bike. Well, I just went through the video clips that preceded this. This is a prologue? Yeah. Anyway, the sound was so bad on all of those, I'm going to go ahead and fire the bike up one more time without using the microphone. And what was happening with the microphone is I had it way too close to my mouth. I had it on my shirt collar. So I'm going to have to learn to put that microphone down about mid-chest somehow, because it's really hard to clip it to a t-shirt. So I'll try to do better with the microphone when I use it, because it's good for me to be able to talk while I walk around the shop and I'm away from the iPhone. So I'm going to go ahead and start the bike again without using the microphone, just so you all can hear it, because it sounds good. So here we go. I'll show you something I did just for the heck of it, just a little while ago, where I had the brass T. I did a little black paint just to make it blend in better, so you don't actually see the T as well as you did before. So that looks nice, nicer. Okay, so I'm going to start the bike so you can really hear what it sounds like. Okay. Probably don't need tickles. so you can see it sounds pretty good. But the smoke comes and goes. I don't understand. That's got to be internal. We rebuilt this engine the last time it was here, the top end. So once the smoke clears, it clears. Okay, so you got to hear it full bore, and it sounds really good. And once again, there's no oil coming out of that breather. So once again, I am going to call it done. Put it aside, and the client can pick it up at his convenience. It's a neat little bike. Okay, that's it. That's all.